Welcome back to the You Can Handle the Truth Tarot podcast. I had to pause for a second. My mind was like in two places at once. So that happens sometimes. I, of course, am your host and reader, Casey Phoenix. And with this reading, I really need for people, first of all, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it's not your story, don't try to make it fit. I am just a person reading the tarot cards and the energy. Now, with that being said, as you're listening to this, I need for you to remove all thoughts of other people from your mind as much as you can. Because the biggest thing that I picked up with this energy is that this is all about you. That's why I named this reading The Essence of You. When I pulled the cards, and I'm working with four tarot, two oracle decks, two tarot decks. So I'm working with four decks here. And the theme throughout all of the cards that kept coming out was leading back to one individual, meaning you. It was all leading back to you. It's all up to you, is what I was getting from this energy. And I like to go over the cards and have a discussion. And the energy is really, really good. Some wonderful cards came out, but let's start with the oracle cards first. So I'll start with the Karma cards deck. And the first card that came out was the Moon card. And the Moon is Cancer energy. And it says, defend, accept, let your feelings tell you how to. I'll read this again. Defend, accept, let your feelings tell you how to. Meaning, you need to start listening to yourself more. For some of you, when I think of this accept, some of the energy that I pick up is learning to accept your flaws is something that I'm hearing. Learning to accept your flaws, learning to accept yourself. There are some of you who, this defend part, I'm on the fence about this because what I pick up is that some of you feel like you have to explain yourself. And maybe your defending is a natural habit, but I feel this is a sword that cuts both ways. For some things, yes, you do have to defend them just out of principle sometimes. But for other things, you don't necessarily have to. I always tell people an explanation is a courtesy, not a requirement. And I believe some of you feel you have to explain yourself to people when I'm telling you, you really don't. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your thoughts and or for your actions. Your thoughts and your actions are your own, and you can choose to do with them as you wish because you have free will. What you do with them doesn't have to be explained all the time. If you want to be polite and extend the courtesy of an explanation, you can do that, but you don't have to. The second Karma card that came out says immediately. The way you project yourself, do it on your own. The energy I picked up is a sense of urgency. For some of you, you haven't had a sense of urgency because you've been caught up in your head. And there might have been some confusion or trepidation when it comes to certain things. I believe, I won't say there's a lack of curiosity. There might be more an abundance of comfortability where you may be comfortable in certain situations and comfortable in the sense of not comfortable as in you're happy with the situation. Comfortable as in it's familiar because people can be comfortable. For example, someone may have a job. They're like, oh, I want to make more money. But they're not going back to school or they're not trying to sharpen their skills to make them more valuable in the job market because there isn't a sense of urgency to do it because the current job is still comfortable. It pays the bills. Even though you want more, it still pays the bills. And there isn't that sense of urgency because everything is still being taken care of. You just want to be paid more. And that's sort of what I'm talking about, where you have to have more of a sense of urgency to do things more immediately. And also you have to be willing to do it on your own. You can't wait on people or a person to get you to a certain level or take you to the next step. It's great when you do have that bridge that someone builds for you and then you can walk across easily. But usually a lot of things are done from your efforts and dedication without others being involved. Again, the biggest thing I was picking up in this energy is that it's all on you. Your progress, your wins, your failures, all of that stuff in this moment, in this energy, is all on you. And in the first house, especially dealing with the first house is also about image too. Because again, how you project yourself, how people view you. And I feel some of you need to not get too caught up in that. Obviously, you want to project what one might call strength or balance or stability. That's great. At the same time, it's also okay to be a little bit of a mess from time to time because we're human and that's just who we are. My biggest thing is looking more internally and figuring out, okay, what is the next step? Because I'm hearing in my head, there are goals, but there aren't steps being set up to accomplish these goals. That is where you need to start being more strategic and finding a way to move forward. Now, let's get to the third karma card. This one says, the serving of others, the details of, do what you must do, and. So what I'm getting from this again is you have to move forward. You have to take control. You have to believe in yourself. Switching to the fortune deck for these oracle cards, the card that came out is the Fool. And it says, have the courage to embrace change, take risks, be adventurous. And what I want you to remember is that the Fool is the one who goes on the journey and then becomes the magician, which the magician card did come out in this reading. But with the Fool, it's also about curiosity and throwing caution to the wind and being fine with not always being comfortable. Again, for some of you, I feel there's that comfortability where you may not be fully happy with your situation, but because it's comfortable, there's not much of a sense of urgency. But this one is saying you need to have the courage to embrace the change and step out. Now, the second card that came out in this particular oracle deck is Judgment. This is soul searching will bring inner peace to many areas of your life. And this goes back to what I was saying, where you have to look within. You have to tap into the essence of you. Your essence alone is powerful. You don't need all of this other stuff clouding you. And I know for some of you, you might get pulled in many different directions where you have this person who needs something or that person who needs something, or the kids have to go to camp or studying for something or this or that. There might be extra bills happening, and it can be difficult to have a moment to yourself to reflect. This is saying you really need to do that. And that goes back into what I said at the beginning of this reading, where I need for you to just tune all of the requests, all of the responsibilities, all of the things tied to other people out during this reading and focus on you. Again, I'll read it. Judgment, soul searching will bring inner peace for many areas or too many areas of your life. It's something I just heard is remove what doesn't serve you. Some of you will be calling judgment on areas of your life whether it's financial, whether it's connections, pick your poison. where you're like, you know what? I don't need this anymore. This is not bringing me any happiness, or this is not bettering my situation, or this person does not always have my best interest at heart. Let me remove this from my life. Maybe there's a habit, maybe it's fast food, maybe because also the Queen of Pentacles came out, and Queen of Pentacles can be about health as well. But maybe it's a thing of, you're like, you know what, I'm not eating fast food anymore. You want to get back into fitness and doing that. So keep that in mind. Another oracle card that came out in this deck is marriage. It says you are attracting emotional fulfillment and unconditional love. When you learn how to love yourself, that's when other love can come in. And one of the sayings is that I would hear all the time on the RuPaul show many years ago is that if you can't love yourself, how in the hell can you love somebody else? It's that inner reflecting. This is saying marriage is out there. And then the final oracle card is luck. And this one says, you are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. So you are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. This is saying opportunities are on the table. Also, for some of you, hold on, this card just moved. Because it moved, I'm going to read the other card that's under it. It says flowers. It says, be generous, success and emotional fulfillment are yours. Be generous, success and emotional fulfillment are yours. Because when I set the card back down, the other card moved, and that gave me a sign like, okay, take a look and see what that card is. And that's what it was. It was flowers. But as I was about to say, there's good energy here. The world came out with the Knight of Wands reverse. Now, the world card is fixed energy. So for that particular card, you're dealing with the fixed sign. So Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and my mind went totally blank. Sagittarius, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. I had to think. I was like, I'm missing a sign. So yeah, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, which are the fixed signs of the zodiac. The world is also Capricorn energy to a certain degree because it is Saturn energy. The world is about lessons. The Knight of Wands is fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Knight of Wands is also a travel card. The world is also a travel card, but the Knight of Wands is in reverse. And what I was getting from that was some of you don't know which way to go, which has kept you a little bit stuck. Also, for some of you, going back to what I was saying earlier, where you don't necessarily want to step into the unknown, I believe that there might have been a long distance relationship happening. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And someone said no to it because they were unsure, especially with someone being in another country too, which if you don't want to leave your country, I totally get that, especially if there's not air conditioning in said country that you would have to go to. I get that even more. So totally fine. But yeah, with this being reversed, it's almost like for some of you, you don't necessarily want to take a chance and pursue a relationship. For others of you, I do believe it goes back to being comfortable. And I'm hearing now that some of you do have goals, but you don't know how to take that step to pursue the goal. Let me tell you something. The best way to take a step to pursue the goal is the internet. I don't care what anyone says. And if you're listening to me, you have to have access to the internet because there's no other way you can access the show. Start with the internet. Go into a Chat GPT or a Google Gemini or a Claude or whatever AI you feel comfortable with. Me personally, I use Chat GPT because it's very conversational and it just works for me. Start asking an AI, hey, this is a goal that I have. What do you recommend for me pursuing this goal? And even play the AIs off of each other. I remember when I was creating a logo for one of my companies, I had said, okay, create this. So then Chat GPT created it. And I was saying, like, these are the things I want. This is what I want the company to do, so on and so forth. All right, great. So after it gave me, ChatGPT gave me all the stuff, I was like, all right, I'm about to take this and put it in Gemini. So that's what I did. I took it, I put it in Gemini, I said, Gemini, this is what I'm looking to create. This is the type of company, so on and so forth. This is what I told ChatGPT. This is the logo that it created. What do you think? And then Gemini was like, yeah, it's good, but based off of what you told me, I think you're leaning more towards this, which would be a little bit different. So then Gemini created a logo, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me see what GPT thinks. So then I took what Gemini said, took the logo, put it in the ChatGPT, continuing the conversation. I was like, hey, ChatGPT, even though I started calling her Elise. I was like, hey, ChatGPT, this is what Gemini just said based off of the logo and information you gave me. What do you think? This is the logo Gemini created and why they created it. ChatGPT reviewed it, and ChatGPT is actually, Gemini is correct. This logo is the better logo that they're giving you. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it's breaking down why Gemini is correct. So AI can make a difference when it comes to learning how to do something. And I know some people are apprehensive when it comes to AI because they're like, oh my God, it's going to take over. But if you're looking to, if you have a goal in your life and you just don't know where to start, I'm telling you, that might be a good place. That is my suggestion. Now, for others of you, some of you have a family that may be happening for you. The reason I'm saying that is because the 10 of Cups came out. 10 of Cups is water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And for some of you, I believe also kids will help some of you mature. And again, I'm not judging. I don't judge people. That I'm not here for that. At the same time, I will tell you the truth. Hence the name of the podcast and channel, You Can Handle the Truth Tarot. And with the Knight of Wands coming out in the reverse, that can also be an immature energy at times too. But a clarifier from a different tarot deck came out, the Emperor, which is also fire energy, which is also the father of the tarot deck, which is Aries energy. And also Six of Swords, air energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini was a clarifier too, letting me know that some of you are leaving your old ways behind, and then some of you are traveling to, and it may be a combination of both. But I do believe that if pregnancy happens, whether you're male or female, with a child coming into the picture, I really believe that will bring about some maturity too for yourself, or it could be the other person, but I really don't believe it's the other person because again, this is all about you. So I do believe some maturity will happen if a child comes into the picture. For others of you where children are not in the picture, I still believe there is some type of maturity through leveling up. The Magician came out clarifying this as well, and it's from a separate tarot deck. This goes back to the Fool. Now, from the Oracle deck, in the separate tarot deck, the Fool also came out. So this is a double confirmation about it leading back to you, about it leading to you taking a chance, you believing in new beginnings, being adventurous, traveling. Some of you will be traveling. I'm definitely getting that. And I don't know why. Especially with this card, as I just now looked at it, with the Six of Swords, where you have the 3 crows pulling the boat, but then you have 3 crows in the background. Something just said to me, some of you will be city hopping, like going from city to city to city. Some of you, it will be because of business, is what I'm getting, especially with the Emperor energy. Some of you will be hopping from city to city because of business. Just a heads up on that. Others of you, it just might be an exploration type thing as well. I don't know. Somebody is going to end up with a windfall, and that windfall will be is what you use to travel. I don't know why I just got that. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. There may be something about a bonus, which for my job, we don't get our bonuses till the middle of the year, but I guess some of you might be receiving a bonus towards the end of the year. And in regards to that bonus, more than likely, you will use that bonus to do some type of traveling, or should I say some type of consistent traveling. is what will happen. Also, I just heard something about the stock market. There may be something where the bonus money is used to invest in the stock market. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just telling you what I'm picking up. And that may end up turning into a larger windfall than expected. Or for some of you that deal with the stock market where you have certain investments, you may end up with a larger windfall than expected. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. With the magician here, I really do feel as that maturity happens, as you start to embrace the essence of you, you will start to learn how to use more resources, how to command. That's the word. I like that word. How to command more resources. Where you at first you had the mentality and the mindset that, oh, I don't have that many options. But I believe that once this turns into the emperor energy, one thing about the emperor makes options available. If there aren't any options in front of the emperor finds a way to make options. The emperor finds a way to make a way out of something, because the emperor is a force of nature. And I believe that there will be a fire that is lit under you to help you step into that mindset where it's like, you know what? If I don't have any options, then I will make them. It's almost like the old saying, if the deck is stacked against you, play a different game. The reason I know that this will balance out is because another clarifying card is justice, which is Libra energy. And with this energy, it is saying things will lean in your favor. But I'm also getting, you have to put in the effort. There has to be a balance. Another card that came out in the tarot deck is Temperance. This is Sagittarius energy. And Temperance is more about alchemy. It's about balancing. I just heard something, so I need to say this. No one is telling you to stop being you. I just heard that. No one is telling you to stop being you. Some of you may be feeling like, oh, I have to give up the old me completely to become this new person that I may not even feel comfortable with being. No one is saying that. What the energy is saying is you can still be you, but there's certain parts of you that you need to evolve. You need to be more optimistic is also what I'm getting. And then I just heard you need to be more health, because this Queen of Pentacles keeps jumping out at me. And in Queen of Pentacles, it can mean health sometimes, but it can mean a ton of other things. But health keeps on blaring at me right now for whatever reason with this Queen of Pentacles. So for some of you, you need to be more health conscious. You need to eat healthier foods is what I'm getting. And I wouldn't be zeroing in on it if it wasn't jumping out at me so much. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Now, the other funny thing is that in the clarifying deck, the Knight of Wands came out again, but in the upright. And in this particular deck, it is a woman that is playing a drum that has a fire on it. And it's really interesting that even though this is the Knight of Wands, she has 4 wands around her, which if you know the tarot deck, the 4 of Wands is about stability, commitment, foundation, things of that. And also traveling too. Again, Knight of Wands is a travel card. I believe that when things balance out, when you see that you do have options available, that is when you really move into things, and you will move swiftly, because in one of the tarot decks, the Knight of Swords is showing too. Knight of Swords is about action. Knights are about action. They take action. And the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight out of the 4. I believe that for some of you, it will start to sink in. You need to take action. Now, going back to this 10 of Cups where I was talking about the family thing. And for some of you, you will be expanding, especially if you're a Leo. Because don't forget, Jupiter moved into Leo about a month ago, I think, give or take. Because I think it was at the end of June, around June 30th or something like that. One thing that happens when Jupiter moves into a sign, because Jupiter is about expansion, it makes it more likely for there to be an expansion of family and where people might get pregnant. It quote unquote raises the possibility. I do believe for some of you, you may find out about a pregnancy, whether you're male or female, and that will completely change your outlook almost immediately, and you will start like, oh, I have to prepare for this. I need to get this done. I need to make sure everything's in order when the baby arrives. I'm hearing moving as well to an actual house. Some of you might be in an apartment right now. If there's a pregnancy involved, you're probably moving to an actual house. I'm hearing also family vacation too. Family vacation. Something, because this one actually has a beach in it, and I'm getting family vacation. Some of you who are moving, you may be moving by the water, because I'm seeing a lot of water in these cards too. So some of you may be moving by the water or vacationing by the water, but I really feel like it will be moving by the water. So you might be moving to a beach area or even a lake as well. So keep that in mind too. With the Queen of Pentacles being out here, the Queen of Pentacles is a very nurturing sign. This is Virgo energy specifically, but Earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. And with the Queen of Pentacles, Pentacles deal with the real world. It deals with anything 3D is what it deals with. And for the Queen of Pentacles, it is someone who is willing to nurture and willing to manage money. And what the Queen of Pentacles touch usually, or should I say touches, what the Queen of Pentacles, when the Queen of Pentacles touches something, there's usually some type of growth attached to it. I just heard for some of you, it may not be immediate growth. It may be slow growth. Some of you, I mentioned stocks earlier, but also some of you plan to invest in some type of retirement account. Maybe there wasn't that before. I don't know why I just heard 401k and I heard 501c3. 401k, obviously retirement, but 501c3 is a nonprofit. Some of you might either be thinking about starting a nonprofit, which would make sense because, again, the Queen of Pentacles is a nurturing energy. Others of you might be thinking about donating more to a nonprofit, maybe for tax reasons or something like that. But I did hear 501c3, so there's something with the nonprofit involved too. All of these, I'm hearing something else. Oh, that makes sense. Oh my, I didn't even catch it until now. Where was it at? It was in one of my first Oracle cards. Hold on. I could have thought I saw something about, oh, here it is. This one. And also is in Virgo. I didn't even catch that part too for this karma card. The karma card is in Virgo, which Queen of Pentacles. See, this is what I'm talking about. It all comes together. And one thing said, it was actually the very first thing. The serving of others. The serving of others. That's what that is. Okay, so the 501c3, that's why I heard it. Okay, so definitely some of you are considering starting a 501c3 or maybe working at a nonprofit. That could be it too. Like maybe you're volunteering, because I actually have a friend, which her and I do another channel together. We cover this soap opera called Beyond the Gates. So, but yeah. She does like volunteer work where she goes and helps feed the homeless and stuff. So I think maybe it could be something like that. And maybe there's the food that I keep on picking up with, maybe you're trying to get nutritious meals to people who don't always have access to nutritious meals. There could be some of that going on too. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is the energy I'm picking up. The main message from this is, especially with the Magician card coming out as a clarifier of the other tarot deck and of the Oracle cards, you have everything you need. The essence of you is strong enough to accomplish your goals. Do not feel like you need someone to come and save you. Do not feel like your obligations to everyone else around you are keeping you from pursuing your goal or accomplishing your goal. This is the time where you're reflecting. Again, the Judgment card in the Oracle deck came out saying, soul searching will bring more peace to many areas of your life. You need to decide Who will have access to you and who won't? What will you give your energy to and what will you remove your energy from? The essence of you is strong enough to overcome any obstacle in this moment. During this Lionsgate reading, you have the power to manifest a better life through your actions. Is it possible to manifest something just by thinking about it and focusing on it? Absolutely. I've done it multiple times before. Sometimes when I didn't even mean to and I didn't know I was doing it, then it happened and it really scared me sometimes, like, oh, wow, this is too crazy. So it's very much possible. However, the real manifestation is through your actions. Your actions will bring about change in your life that you are seeking. Your actions will bring courage over time. You don't always have to be fearless in a sense, or let me rephrase, you don't have to be without fear when attempting to do something. There are times where you still have the fear, but you're doing it anyway. That's where the fool comes in, where the fool is like, well, yeah, I'm just going to do it. And the fool came out twice. It came out in the Oracle deck and it came out in the Clarifying Tarot deck too. So this is a confirmation where it's like, you can manifest things if you just take a chance, because as I said before, the fool becomes the magician through their journey. That's why the next card is the magician. The magician is as above, so below, about manifesting, about realizing you have the wand, you have the sword, you have the pentacles, you have the cup, you have all of the elements, you have all of the energy that you need to create that 10 of Cups life that you deserve, to create that graduation with the World card, to create that confidence of the Emperor that came out, to create that balance with the Justice that came out, to create a nurturing energy that has long-term stability, which is the Queen of Pentacles, to create opportunities to connect with others on an emotional level, specifically for the Marriage card to come out, to create luck that came out. One of the old sayings is by someone, the harder I work, the luckier I get. You have the ability to manifest all of this because you have yourself. The essence of you can manifest anything, especially during this Lionsgate period. That is your message. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, be blessed.